Hello, hello. Welcome to Dream Leap Live TV. Today we are going to be talking about a term that keeps popping up. And so I want to make sure that I pay attention to it and that I just give it a little bit of energy. It's been popping up a lot. It's a term that means a lot to me, and a term that is really powerful when you're thinking about goal setting and creating what you want for your life. Hey. And this term that I want to talk about today is embodiment. Embodiment. It is really heavy on my mind right now, and it's been something that I've just been thinking about a lot and wanting to share my thoughts and insights on. I say all the time that we don't get what we want, we get what we're prepared for. And I think that embodiment is the easiest way to convey to the universe that you are prepared for what you want. So when I think about the term embodiment, I'm talking about taking on the form or expression of what you want, making yourself an energetic match for something, putting forth the energy of what you are trying to call in. So I believe that the easiest way to prepare for what we want, I believe the easiest way to prepare for what we want is to practice embodiment. That's about conveying to the universe that we're making a change and then training the people around us to honor that decision. So we may train the people around us with boundaries. I know you've heard before, we teach people how to treat us. And so boundaries are one way that we teach people how to treat us. The language that we use to speak to and about ourselves is another way. The people we spend time around, the things we give our attention to, all of these things are examples of embodiment. And you cannot call in what you claim to want if you're not practicing showing up as a version of you that already has it. That's a manifestation hack, and that is just like for the sake of congruency and consistency, because success loves consistency. You want to make sure that you're showing up now in a way that what you want is going to recognize you. I believe that what we want wants us, but it also wants us to be all in, and it wants us to match what we're going for. So embodiment is a really beautiful way to do that. And when I'm thinking about embodiment now, something that keeps coming up for me is that if you want to really kill this embodiment game, if you really want to be on top of your embodiment game, you need to be showing up at work, in your relationships, and in every other facet of your life as if you know that you are an asset to everything you're involved in. You need to be showing up as if you know that your energy alone is a value add, as if you know that your energy alone is a contribution to the world. I think until you own that, until you truly believe that, it's going to be really difficult for you to do any of the other alignment work to make sure that you're matching what you're working for. So there are a number of different ways that you can do this, but I just want to riff a little bit about what that even means. Thank you for the hearts. I want to riff a little bit about what that even means. So it's very easy to get distracted by your assumptions about what you should be doing. It's very easy to get caught up in the smoke and mirrors of social media and what everybody else has been up to and what everybody else is creating. And it's easy to just assume someone else is doing this better, so there's no point in me trying, right? But until you can choose, and I say choose because we need to choose our thoughts, until you choose to know and believe that you are magic on legs, that you make the world better just by being you, that you have something valuable to offer and contribute, it's going to be really, really difficult for you to take consistent action in the direction of what you want. I know for a fact, and I've practiced thinking, that life is a direct reflection of your internal narrative. The results that you are seeing or not seeing right now are a direct reflection of what you've practiced thinking, of what you say to and about yourself, of what you assume is the truth. And so if you want to transform your results, you need to transform the thoughts that you're thinking and the things that you are saying to and about yourself. So if you want to practice embodiment, you're going to need to practice changing your thought patterns. Because if you can change your thought patterns, you can transform absolutely anything. If you can change the way your mind works, you can change absolutely anything. You can create absolutely anything. So, yeah, that is just a really important thing that I want you to practice thinking about. I want you to take some space, carve out some space to really think about your thoughts, to be the non-judgmental, gentle, kind observer of the things that you think on a regular basis. Because if you're not getting or creating the results that you want, it's because you're thinking something about why you can't have it, or you're worrying about what's going to happen if you do get it. And you're not going to be able to enjoy it until you start analyzing what you are thinking about you and about what you want to create. So when we're working toward embodiment, when we are working toward looking like how we want to live, when we're thinking about making sure our thoughts, our words, our energy aligns with what we want for our lives, we have to be willing to shut out the noise that our inner critic is giving us. The inner critic is that voice in the back of your mind that pops up whenever you're about to do something big. It's a voice that is trained to keep you safe and that would rather be right about danger than be happy. So whenever you are going for a new level in your life, whenever you are setting a new goal, that inner critic is going to pop up like, are you sure? Do you really want to do this? Maybe you shouldn't. That's not so safe. That doesn't sound like a good idea. You don't want to fail. All those different ideas that pop up. And the inner critic is most likely going to sound like the insult that you're most afraid to hear from other people. The insult that you work hardest to avoid hearing from other people is going to be what matches your inner critic sounds, like your inner critic's voice. And so until you get crystal clear on what your inner critic sounds like, you're going to think thoughts and assume they are the truth. And you are that damn inner critic, girl, I'm trying to tell you. And you are going to stay stuck at a plateau and assume that it's because of your shortcomings. This is not because you failed. It's not because you're bad at life. It's not because you are doomed to never have what you want. It's because you have not done the work to manage your mindset. And mindset management is a lifelong practice. It is a lifelong practice of observing what you've been thinking, catching the shitty inner critic thoughts at work, and then replacing them with thoughts that feel better and thoughts that are going to propel you forward. So embodiment is not just about looking the part. It's about thinking the part too. It's about making sure that you do whatever needs to be done to manage your mindset, to manage your energy, and then to design your days ahead of time so that life isn't just happening to you, but happening because of you. So, what was I going to say? I hear mine clearly daily. Listen, I know you do. I know we all do. I am not here to tell you that your inner critic is just going to go away. Your inner critic does not just go away. This is a lifelong practice of catching your inner critic at work, saying thank you for trying to do your job, I got this now, and then replacing it with a thought that feels better. You want to practice thinking your affirmations until they feel like core beliefs. You want to practice thinking your affirmations and your self-affirming thoughts until they feel like second nature. Because you spent all this time learning that you can't have what you want. And now it's about deciding that you get to have a different standard for your life. It's about deciding that things get to be different no matter how long you've practiced thinking that they can't be. And that's going to feel like a back and forth. It's going to feel like a weird conflict because it doesn't match what you're used to thinking. But we always have a say in what we create with our lives. We always have a say in who we get to be, how we get to show up, and what we get to create. And until you own your co-creative powers, you are going to be stuck in your head assuming that something is wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. It's about your thought patterns, which you have so much more power over than you think. You said, what feels like a lie, Imani? Thank you for the heart shower. What feels like a lie, love? Yeah, I want to answer that question before I move on. Tell me what feels like a lie, Imani. Um, when you tell yourself what you're trying to change. When you tell yourself trying to change. I'm going to speak on what I think you're saying, but feel free to correct me. Oh, yeah, okay. So if you jump out there with affirmations that are so far beyond where you are right now, your body's going to fight you. If, for like my favorite example, if you say to yourself, I'm a millionaire, and you have 71 cents in your bank account, your body is going to resist. Your body's going to fight it. If you say what I like to call stepping stone affirmations, like I am on my way to creating limitless wealth, I am on my way to building $1 million, I am on my way to getting debt free. If you talk about your affirmations and stepping stones, it'll be much easier to get behind that. But if you jump from I have zero money to I am a millionaire, of course that's not going to register. Of course that's not going to feel natural or correct, right? It's about training your brain to work with you. It's about taking the baby steps until you get to where you want to go. Let me know if that makes sense. So, yeah, again, we do not unlearn our limiting beliefs in one day. If it's taken you 30 some years to feel the way you feel about yourself now, you're not going to unlearn that shit in one day. But if you are committed to training your brain, you can absolutely plant the seed and move forward. So let me give an example of a new standard that I had to set. And I like to say, like, we lock in our new standards, we lock in our new rules with decisions, right? But a decision is not made until action is taken. So I had to decide, that I get to call in the life I want without having to settle for the shit I don't. I had to decide that. I had gotten very used to tolerating, because somewhere in the back of my mind, I had built a whole identity around overcoming. I had built an entire identity around being able to endure and survive and have a high pain tolerance. And I had to realize, like, I'm not being rewarded for my pain tolerance. Like, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to tolerate. I'm not here to endure. I'm not here to prove how strong I can be. I'm here to live out my purpose. I'm here to live fully and use what I've been given and be, a powerful example for other people. And it's really difficult to be a powerful example if you're sitting around trying to prove just how much you can take, right? We're not here to be the workhorses. We're not here to be the emotional punching bags. We have so much more destined for us than just tolerating shit. And I had to make a decision. I had to make a decision to stop trying to impress other people and design a life that impressed me. I had to make a decision that I was no longer available for burnout or depletion because I deserved to feel full and whole, right? These are all examples of decisions I had to make, even though I had gotten used to thinking that my worth lied in how much I worked, in how much I got done, in how nice I could be, in whether I could try to change people, right? I had a lot of stuff in my head around needing to please people, needing to keep up appearances, all that stuff. And I had to make a new decision that I was done depleting myself to prove myself, that I was done trying to impress other people. When I made that decision, though, because it was one thing to recognize that these were the stories I was telling myself, I had to make a conscious decision to replace those stories with thoughts that felt better. So I had to replace, it's my job to make people like me. I had to replace that story with, I give people permission to be wrong about me. So there was a time when it would have been devastating to me to have people not like the way I showed up, or not like the things I said, or the way I looked, or whatever. And I had to make a decision. I had to make a decision that people get to have their own opinions about me. People get to decide that I'm not their cup of tea. People get to decide that I don't got it like that. They're wrong, but they can think that, right? If that's what helps them sleep at night, I'm going to let them do what they need to do so I can do what I need to do. Thank you, boo. Thank you so much. And I needed to detach my sense of worthiness from how people received me, because I'm not responsible for how people receive me. I'm responsible for the message and the purpose that I live. Yes. Give people permission to be wrong about you and save yourself the stress. You're over here trying to manage other people's perception of you, and how people feel about you almost never has anything to do with you. It has so much more to do with their frame of reference and the way they look at life and what they've been through, right? A lot of times when somebody absolutely loves you or absolutely hates you, it's not actually the fuck about you. It's not. Anyway. So, yeah. Anyway. That was just an example of a decision I had to make. That was an example of a standard I had to set. And so when I wanted to embody that, I stopped spending time around people who made me earn their love. I stopped spending time around men that were emotionally unavailable. I stopped spending time around one-sided friendships and people that always needed me to drop everything to be there for them, but were never there when I needed them. I had to make conscious decisions and be discerning about what deserved my attention and my energy and my effort. And I've had to go through this process over and over and over again as I went to different levels in my life, as I took on new transitions, as I took on new positions, as I, changed my mind about what I was doing. There were a number of different times when I had to decide to set a new standard. And embodiment always came with it. It didn't matter what I said if I was not acting like what I had said. Because people don't care what you say. They're busy watching how you live. They need to make sure that you're congruent. They need to make sure that you're consistent. They need to make sure that you're a person of integrity. And they're trying to test you. If you don't honor your boundaries, no one else is going to honor your boundaries. And a big piece of embodiment is setting self-honoring boundaries and making it okay if other people don't like it or don't get it. I know that when I took my business full time, when I shifted from getting paid at my case management job every 2 weeks and, getting in the occasional client, I had to make the really big shift. I had to understand that charging by the session and hoping that people were going to be able to pay at the time was not the move for me. It was not sustainable. It was not healthy. It was just not a good idea. It wasn't best practices. It was not a good idea business wise, right? Because then I ended up having to chase money and chase clients and then wonder if I had done something wrong. It was all stressful, right? And it came down to me deciding people are not paying me for my endurance. They're not paying me for my stamina. They're not paying me for how hard I work. People are paying me for my energy. People are paying me for my expertise. And people are paying me for excellence. People are paying me for excellence. And it took me deciding that excellence does not require exhaustion. Excellence requires intentionality. So when I was intentional about my time, when I was intentional about these coaching agreements, when I was intentional about my marketing and speaking to a very specific person who was not trying to waste anyone else's time, then things shifted. That was a big shift that I had to make. That was a decision that I had to make and something that I had to practice embodying. People stop playing with you when you stop playing with you. People take you seriously when you take you seriously. And embodiment is how you convey to other people that you take you seriously. Embodiment is how you let the world around you know that what you care about is important and that you're willing to do the work and take action in alignment with what you want. Why you say damn, Imani? Thank you, April. Excellence does not require exhaustion. Yeah. I'm not selling my effort. I'm not selling my depletion. There is no prize for burning yourself out when there are smarter ways to work. And so I figured out how to work smarter. And I made sure that I was not making myself available for people who expected me to prove myself to them. I just assumed by the time someone gets on the phone with me, they already know whether or not I'm the coach for them. And if I need to prove myself to you, then we're not in alignment, right? There we go. Okay. You said you're right there with me. All right. Cool. So, another thing about embodiment is when you know, hey, Andrea, when you know, girl, yes, people stop playing with you when you stop playing with you. When you know that your mindset and your energy are your money makers, you start taking impeccable care of both. So when I realized that people were not paying me for how hard I worked, but instead were paying me for what I knew and how I shared that, I stopped playing games about who I got to share that with. I started being a lot more intentional about protecting my energy, preserving my energy, about making sure that I was managing my mind, making sure that I was managing my inner critic, because time management is just inner critic management, right? I was making sure that I was managing other people's expectations of me by being realistic about what I was available for, by being realistic about what I was going to tolerate and what I was not going to tolerate. By being unwilling to settle and unwilling to negotiate and haggle to prove my worth, right? But if you're raised believing that you have to work hard to earn money, then of course you're going to do too much, hoping that then you'll have earned your check, hoping that you'll have earned people's money. And if you really want, especially as service providers, if you want to be providing value-rich offers, you have to show up to every interaction as if you understand that you're an asset to everything you're involved in. You have to understand and show up as if you believe that your energy alone is the value add. People are not paying you to do the most. People are paying you to be you and to make it safe for them to be them. People are paying you to share what you know, what comes naturally to you. But all this extra shit and trying to prove yourself, fighting to prove that you're valuable gets in the way of you actually adding real value. So do what you need to do to feel like you. Do what you need to do to set up systems that support you, and then get your work done. And that's it. All that extra stuff is about insecurities. And when you get to a certain level of leadership, when you get to a certain level of your career, you need to be willing to make your desired impact more important than your doubts and your insecurities. That's what you need to be willing to focus on. If you're not willing to focus on that, you are stealing from the people you're here to serve. You are stealing from the people that need what you have to offer. And you in this shit for the wrong reason. If you're really in there trying to win over everybody and avoid rejection or whatever, it's a waste of everyone's time. So yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that, but another thing I've been thinking about as far as embodiment goes, I've had a couple of different clients that have talked to me about how when they work with me, they feel really inspired to share what we've been talking about with the people around them. And while that comes from a good place, I want to make very clear, we cannot force other people to want their evolution. We cannot want people to win more than they want to win. And sometimes the most loving thing we can do is give people the dignity of their own process and allow them to experience their natural consequences. We are so desperate to share the gift that we have received that we may force something on someone before they're ready. And then that causes a weirdness and an awkwardness, right? It causes a weird pressure for them to catch up. Everyone has their own cosmic curriculum, and you have to give people permission to follow their curriculum at their own pace. You can't force it on someone else. It's going to drain you. It's going to cause resentment and weirdness. And I think the most powerful example you can lead or you can offer is allowing your energy to elevate and enhance the people around you. Stop trying to teach them what they're not ready to learn, but walk your talk and model it for them. That is the most powerful way to help the people around you. If they see you're trying to force the lessons down their throat before they're ready, they can't appreciate it. But if they see you living that shit and they like the way you're showing up because you're actually living it and doing the work, they're eventually going to learn to do the work. Let me read these questions. That was my meditation this morning. Knowing what and who I am is valuable. Absolutely. Own your uniquely valuable contribution. If you need help with that, I got you. 90-day program, purpose-driven powerhouse. Let me know what you're trying to do. Spirit is talking. You do this every time. I was led to get on. Yes, Imani. Listen. Like, I like to come with notes, but every once in a while, shit is just going to come through me. Y'all going to get what you get, okay? I believe that whatever needs to come through will. So, things are just going to happen. Can feed people something they aren't ready to receive? Absolutely. And we do it, April, we do it from a good place. We do it because we genuinely want people to experience the magic that we are enjoying. But they cannot receive it if they're not ready for it. And it may backfire. It may completely backfire on you if someone interprets your desire for growth as an intention to outshine them. And that's another thing. That's another thing. When we're thinking about embodiment, because now we're on a tangent, girl. We have to stop trying to protect people we love from our success. It's not about outshining them. It's about shining the light so they can see the way. It's about modeling and holding space so that they can grow into someone as well. But if you're surrounded by people who take every move you make as a threat to your friendship, you are in the wrong friendship. If you are surrounded by people who tell you that trying to do better for you is a detriment to them, then you have to pay attention to that shit. That is the universe throwing out the trash for you. Stop holding on to people and trying to force them into your level of growth. Everybody's not ready for that. Your desire for growth is telling them they aren't growing. Exactly. And if we're honest, sometimes we do keep mentioning our growth as a really passive-aggressive way to pull someone with us. We can't want this more than they do. And we can't shame someone else into growth. You cannot shame someone you claim to love into growth. You cannot say you should want this, and if you don't want this as bad, then you ain't shit. Right? We do it all the time. I have absolutely done it. I am someone that values excellence. I am someone that values personal growth and achievement and completion and all that, right? And so it bothers me when I feel like somebody I love is tolerating mediocrity. It bothers me when I know someone could be doing so much more with and for themselves and they're choosing not to. But if I really respect them as a person, I have to let them make that choice. I have to give them the dignity of their own process. Because again, back to cosmic curriculums, everyone gets the lessons they need to get when they need to get them. I'm no longer available for learning things the hard way. But if somebody I love needs to learn shit the hard way in order to really get it, I have to be willing to let them do that. It's hard. Yes, Helen. Throwing out the trash for you, girl. Consider it an amenity. Consider it you are living in the luxury apartment of life. And that trash will be taken out for you because you don't deserve to have to do all the extra shit. So yeah, what I was saying with that was, like, stop trying to convince people. Stop trying to sell people on doing the work and let them be elevated by your example. Let them be elevated by your energy. Let them be so inspired by how you show up that they can't help but show up that way too. Just like you said, we all have our past. We can only show through actions. It's infuriating to want more for people, but we can't want this more than they do. Like, what was it that Iyanla said? Because I love Iyanla's show. But she said, it was like, I can't fight you for your healing. I'm not going to fight you for your healing. You can't want someone's growth and transformation more than they want it for themselves. And if you do, you're both in a lot of trouble. That relationship is absolutely going to feel some strain if you are trying to force them to want something that they don't realize is a priority yet. And that is why I don't go back and forth with people. If someone has taken the time to get on a clarity call with me, and then they say to me, oh, you know what? I don't think I can do this. Or I'm not sure. Girl, okay. I can't fight you to want this. You know what will come of this experience if you are willing to invest in yourself. But I can't make you feel that you are worth investing in. I will not chase. I will not fight. I will not push. I believe in flow over force. I believe in power over pressure. And I believe that desperation is truly repulsive. So neediness, desperation, like fighting to make shit work that isn't meant to work is repulsive. If you want to call in what you want, you need to be willing to like detach and pull back. It's a really hard lesson to learn, but it's something that I'm pretty clear on these days. I don't fight to prove my worth to anybody. I don't fight to convince someone that they should join my program. I don't fight to tell any, like, you got it, girl. You got it. I'm here for your freedom and I want you to win, but I cannot want it more than you do. And that applies everywhere, in every area of life. Flow over force, absolutely. I have fought long enough. I have paid my dues. I have shown just how much I can endure, and I have done plenty of things the hard way. And at this point in my life, I am only available for shit to come naturally. I'm only available for what comes organically. I'm staying open for miracles. I am allowing things to bless me in expected and unexpected ways, but I am not available for the pushing and the forcing and the struggle. I opted out of the struggle a while ago. I'm done with burnout. I'm done with depletion. If it does not naturally align with what I want for me and it doesn't feel good, I'm out of there. I'm not fighting for this. So in the beginning of your transformation, we'll have to work harder to get to that level, to being able to live on purpose. Absolutely. I think burnout-proof living and truly like free spirit living is about deciding that life doesn't happen to you, you happen to your life. You create your life. You decide your life. You decide what gets to happen. You decide what you're going to create, right? You design your days ahead of time so that you can be more proactive and not just reactive, right? I give myself permission to be free of the hard way and all of its shit. That's right. Some people need to learn shit the hard way. I'm no longer available for that. I want to learn my lessons with ease and grace, bitch. I want my lessons to not be incredibly painful. I don't want to have to get run over in order to receive the message. And that's why I set these firm boundaries. And that's why I practice like listening to intuition. And that's why I practice taking inspired action and taking messy action. And that's why I practice thinking different thoughts. Because I'm very good at creating catastrophes in my head. I'm very good at worrying about the worst case scenario, but I've learned that doesn't work and it doesn't feel good. We are all incredibly powerful manifestors and co-creators. It's on us to use that power to create what we want instead of what we're afraid of. And that's why we have to manage our minds. That is why we need to be so intentional with our language and our energy and the people we surround ourselves with and what we keep in our environment. That is why, like, your most delicious life is going to require you being intentional. Painstakingly intentional. Selective, discerning, deliberate, right? And not allowing your time or energy to be wasted. And when you're practicing embodiment, when you are practicing aligning your thoughts, your words, your actions, your energy with what you want, you're also going to need to be willing to let go of whatever is out of alignment. You can talk the talk. You can talk the talk. You can practice planning your days. You can have all the loftiest goals. But if you are not willing to let go of what you know has been weighing you down, you are still sabotaging. You are making your life much harder than it needs to be. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that. That's where I'm at with that. Thank you for the hearts. I thought I was going to say something else. I think it just left. Who has time for that? Exactly. Who has time for that? I know in my case, I am very inclined to dive deep. I don't like small talk. I don't like surface level shit. Like, I'm either talking to you about like your biggest, scariest goals, or I'm waving and keeping it moving. But like, my spirit is very uneasy with like people trying to be artificial or, you know, do the dumb shit. Like, I'm not interested. And so I know, because I tend to dive deep, because I tend to like go the places that a lot of people will not go, I have to be very selective about where I place my energy and attention and who I spend my time with. Yes. Thank you for every word, Damagata. Oh, all right, April. Very good to see you, love. Thank you for joining the live. Please feel free to share this with somebody who needs it. Hazelnut, why are you laughing? I'm not interested in small talk. Like, it really bothers me when people send like texts with one word and then send like 18 different texts that are just one word. Like, girl, if you don't hurry up and say what you got to say, if you don't get to it, like, it really bothers me. I am definitely a hard hitter with my communication. I understand that everybody does not approach things that way, but I have learned the hard way that I just need to be very careful about where I put my energy, because my brain is overactive. I'm a professional overthinker, and I will create stories if you give me any space to fill in the gap. I don't want anyone to be confused, because I don't like feeling confused. And I don't like to make myself available for confusion or for chaos or for drama. So yeah. Now, I have been all over the place. I had a couple notes. I've been all over the place. And thank you for the hearts. I've been all over the place with what I was discussing. But if you want this idea and this message packaged neatly, Purpose-Driven Powerhouse would be a really great next step for you. That is my compilation of pre-recorded live trainings where I'm giving my approaches to burnout-proof living, personal leadership, lifestyle design. I'm teaching you about managing your energy and managing your time so you can focus on the shit that matters most, get out of your head and into aligned action. And I think that Purpose-Driven Powerhouse is a really great way for you to start doing the work on your own. And if after you've gone through the trainings, you get one training every 3 days for 30 days. If after you've gone through the trainings, you feel like you want a little bit of extra support, I would be honored to support you in a Decide to Succeed clarity call. Let's see. That is me all the way. I hate small talk. People take it the wrong way. Press. Right. Yes, Vicky. Absolutely. Be validated, boo. It is so, like, it provokes the worst of my anxieties when, like, I'm not certain where someone's going. And even though I do this mindset management work all the time, the part of me that is still stuck in people pleasing will like anticipate someone's needs or what someone's about to say. And if you don't fill in the gap, I will. An unsupervised brain will run around reckless. And if you don't give it something to do, it'll find something to do. So if we haven't really done this mindset management work, we can create all types of chaos in our own heads and hurt our own feelings and cause our own torpedoes. So yeah, if you want to learn a lot of the practices and tools and self-reflection questions that I have completed myself in order to get out of my head and into aligned action, in order to honor the work that I am here to do with my life, Purpose-Driven Powerhouse is the option for you. Hey, Miss Tiffany. Hey, girl, hey. So go on ahead and go to bit.ly/purpose-driven powerhouse to get started. If you have questions about it, send me a DM after this. I will be checking for 1 hour after this live just to check in and see what questions you may have about it. And speaking of questions, I think I have emptied my brain. But if you have questions for me, now would be a great time to ask. Which name? You said you love that name? Thank you for the hearts. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Tiffany. Purpose-driven powerhouse. Absolutely. My intention is to get you out of your head and re-engage with your purpose. Get out of overthinking and into execution. I want you to be out there unleashed like a straight savage in the direction of these goals. And that is the intention of that online training series. So you can go to bit.ly/purpose-driven powerhouse to get that. Cop it for yourself. And if you're really feeling yourself and you want someone to hold you accountable, but you're not sure you want me to be that person, grab a friend, tell her join with you so y'all can do the trainings at the same time. Just call your friend like, hey girl, I'm about to do this purpose-driven powerhouse. You want to do it with me? We can time it together because you'll get a new training every 3 days for 30 days. So you can time it together. You can complete the workbooks together. You can do the journaling prompts together. I am not attached to how you get your win. I just want to make sure that you are doing the work. I'm not here to micromanage your manifestation, boo. You get your freedom the way you need to get it. Okay? Thank you for the claps, Yima. Now, what questions do we have about embodiment, which was today's topic, kind of. What question do we have about embodiment or about purpose-driven powerhouse? I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes to see what comes up. Have we reached that point? Have we reached that point? I'd love to know if you don't have questions. What's something you took away from this? Because I know I was all over the place. I had some notes and then I just kind of did what needed to happen. So what is landing for you? What have you received from today? What's a thought or an insight I shared that you're going to need to marinate on? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Give me something. Oh, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Oh, you needed this today? Tell me what part you needed. Tell me what you received from today. You can't force anyone to grow with you. That part. If you really love and respect them, you have to respect their process and let them be elevated by your example. Stop trying to force growth on people that are not ready and on people that have shown you and told you that they're not ready. After a while, it stops being loving and starts being aggressive and weird. Facts. You know, I like the truth, girl. What else is coming up for people? I think I got about 2 more minutes in me. If we gonna keep this comment box dry, I got about 2 more minutes in me. I need to change my mindset and go after what I know. Come on. Come on. Yes, ma'am. And don't you worry. You don't have to do it alone. If you are ready to take that next step, you can either enroll in Purpose Driven Powerhouse for a self-study, or you can apply for a Decide to Succeed clarity call with me, because I don't want you to make this harder than it needs to be. You deserve ease. You deserve flow. You deserve grace. And if you cannot give that to yourself, I would be honored to support you in that. The struggle is optional. Remember, we are opting out today. Excuse me as I adjust my back. I will definitely be reaching out. I will definitely be keeping an eye out for your message. You can hit the link in bio to book. You can, if you have questions about, what it's going to look like, go ahead. I want a life that will impress me. That's right, Vicky. Love it. Love it. Now that you've set this new standard, it's about taking consistent, aligned action. Keyword being aligned. Not just doing all the stuff, but doing the right stuff. Focusing your energy in the right places. Yes. All that. All that. All right. I feel things slowing down. My brain is empty. So thank you very much for coming on tonight. Please feel free to share this with somebody that you know would value the conversation. Feel free to watch it again and take some notes, like when you can be more present for it. And if you're looking to take this work further, hit the link in my bio. Okay? I want you to have a delicious, thank you for the hearts. Thank you so much. I want you to have a delicious evening on purpose. I am going to head out because my head is starting to hurt. And I can't tell if it's a real headache or just this head sigh. So, I'm going to get my life and figure it out. But I appreciate you very much. Happy Tuesday. And take care of yourself. Ciao, ciao.